Hey, yo, what's up? It's Noke2 here with a new comic video. It's Saturday morning and looks like it's going to rain, so I'm going to get out of cutting the grass. Thought I would shoot a quick video. I just uploaded a video that I shot about a month ago but hadn't uploaded. I'm going to make a few videos today since I'm not going to be doing much because of the rain. And so let's just get started. So first, as always, I want to thank everyone who has taken their time to watch my video. What you have there in front of you is those lithographs that Marvel has been giving away free, although a lot of the stores are charging $1 for it. This is Invincible Iron Man by Scotty Young. I did pay $1 for it. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I picked and choose which ones I would pay $1 for. This was one of the ones I thought was kind of cool. So let's get started. So I went to a sale and picked up some books about a month ago. This book I think everyone knows now, and it's got a little heat. It's the New Avengers #7, first appearance of the Illuminati. I got 2 copies, each for $2. Got this book here, Batman 399. Kind of got a cult following. I think it's doesn't really go for much, maybe $4 or $5. Kind of a horror genre to it. Picked that up for $1. Zatanna #1. That's in near mint. Her I think it is her first and only ongoing series. I know the last 5, 6 issues are worth a bit of money. They are the low print run covers by Adam Hughes. And this is the beginning of it, #1 and #2. Picked both those up for $1. I have all of the Adam Hughes covers, but don't have the 1 through what is it, 11 or 12. So I've been slowly trying to find it just to complete that series runs. Green Lantern #49. Got that for $1. Every time I see it, I think it goes for some money, but it doesn't. It's probably a $3, $4 book, dollar book all day long at the most. Kind of a classic cover. It is a second appearance of Kyle Reiner, but still doesn't go for much money. I don't know why I always pick it up. This is Star Wars #1, Purge of the Tyrant's Fist. I bought that because it was a near mint. It was $1, and it was a dark horse before Star Wars went back to Marvel. Don't know if it goes for anything. Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man 120 because it's the anniversary border issue. Wonder Woman #77, great Brian Boland cover for $1. #93, also for $1. I've shown a copy of this book before and got some criticism that it wasn't accurate with my description. But this is the Spectra, the final issue, #62. This is the first appearance of the new Mr. Terrific. I know that there was a comment on one of my videos that it was not, but it is. He appears in a couple of panels, and it's not his traditional appearance as his uniform or costume that he has now, but it is his first appearance. Nightwing #15. It's one of the anniversary borders for DC, or not borders, but the covers where they did all of the full face for the character for that comic. And I have this copy already. Got that for, I think it was either a quarter or $1, but got it for cheap, and it was a near mint, so I bought that. Now I went to LCS not far from me, and at the checkout was this book here. This is a Loot Crate variant. This is store #1, the Funko Pop variant with Loki on the front. And the story behind it was that the guy had bought a Loot Crate and he got the stuff that was in it, but he didn't really collect comics, so he didn't want the comic. So he gave the shop owner the comic to sell, and they had it priced for $5. I didn't know anything about this book, but I figured it was a low print variant because it came only in the Loot Crate, and this is polybagged. I don't know if you can tell, but it's polybagged. And online, the sales average between $5 to $20. And the ones that go for $5, I can't tell if they're in polybag. It doesn't appear that they're in polybagged. The ones that were polybagged went for a little bit more. I didn't really care anything about this comic, but for $5, I was like, yeah, I'll support them, and I bought the comic for $5. Probably goes for that. I might start trying to sell some comics, and that'll be one that I try to sell. Got this for $1. Wetworks #1 is in their mint. Have several copies of that. Reborn #1, the Jock variant. This has a little bit of heat on it. It can go from $10 to $20 on a good day. I've seen sales, and that's because one of the streaming services has optioned it. I think it's either Hulu or HBO Max. Found a short run of Totally Awesome Hulk for a quarter. #14 with Jeremy Lin. #15, some great J.H. Stonehouse covers. #16, #17, and #18. I think Stonehouse does some good covers for him for that series run. And I had another issue, but I'll find it here in a little bit. But it's the Jim Steranko homage cover. I may have shown this cover. I don't know why I keep buying this. I keep thinking it's worth something. Frankencastle, Dark Wolverine, chapter 2, #19. But every time I look it up, it's not worth anything. I think I got like 2 copies of that, for no reason whatsoever. Mercy #1 by Image, the Mirka Aldolfo creator-owned comic. Don't know much about this. I haven't read it yet. I'm waiting for a few issues before I start to read it. Mercy #1, some great covers. Enrique Marina cover variant, the Herberto Ramos cover variant, and then really the one that got me to buy the book at all was the Art Germ variant, which can go for a little bit more than cover. It's a nice looking book. Bought this for a quarter, and I'll be honest, the only reason why I bought it, Magic Order #4, is I couldn't recall if I had this book or not. And, I got in the first couple of issues, and then I kind of dropped off. And I could never recall if I have #3, 4, and 5. I think it's a 5-issue miniseries. So when I see them for cheap, 4, 5, 3, because I don't know if I have it or not, I seem to always buy it. And then I realize, I already got a copy of that, which I already have a copy of that. It's not worth anything, probably a quarter or $1. Mockingbird #1, got that for a quarter. All-Star Squadron #1, got that for $1. It's in near mint condition. Got this for cover price. This is Miles Morales #8. First appearance of the Assessor, who I have no idea what that is, but who that is. But that can go for a little bit of money, anywhere between cover price to $15. Now, it's funny is when I went and got that, I got this book here for cover price. It just got released. Hulk 36. I had a copy coming, but I didn't know if I'd ordered more than one, and so there's a little speculation on that book, so I bought 2 of those. And while I was there, I saw this book here, and it's kind of funny. Transformers #1, Jim's Comics. I don't know if you watch his channel. He's got a good channel. He's got a few, I think almost 10,000 followers or subscribers. So he mentioned this comic, And it's funny is when he mentioned that the story behind his was exactly the story behind mine. I saw this. I was like, it's Transformers, My Little Pony. There were 2 copies left. Sometimes I get the #1 issue of the Transformers. And as I was looking at it, the shop owner said, "Yeah, that's sold out. Those are the last 2 copies. They sold out, and it's going for a second print run." And so I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll just buy these last 2 copies." He's like, "Oh, yeah, sure." So basically, if you watch his channel, he mentioned this comic. He did he had basically the exact same experience where he looked at the comic and the shop owner told him it was the last copy or so, and he bought it because it was already going on a second print run, and that's exactly what happened to me. Then I got these 2 comics here for cover price, and I picked those up for cover price. It was Batman Adventures #3. I really like this comic cover by Dan Hip. Don't know much about him, haven't, but it's kind of an interesting cover. So got those for cover price. And I got another copy of Batman '96 at cover price, first appearance of the Clown Hunter. Oh, here's that Totally Awesome Hulk #23, the Jim Steranko homage cover. So I went out of town a few weeks ago to go for an assignment, and on my way to work out of town, I knew of a sale that was going to happen for a quarter, and it was kind of on the way, so I stopped there before I left home actually early to go to the sale and then go to work. So these were all a quarter. Justice League Rise and Fall Special #1, Art Germ cover. I've had 2 copies of this before, but this one is in near mint condition where there is no spine ticks on the spine. I have a couple of others that I paid, I think maybe a quarter or $1, where there might have been 1 spine tick in the green spine, and because it's green, a spine tick is pretty evident in it when it breaks color. So I picked that up for a quarter. They had this series here, the Dance Limited Series #1, which is also by Art Germ. Didn't know anything about this series. It's a DC, but I bought it only for the cover. I saw them; they were distinctly Art Germ, and so I picked them up for a quarter piece. #1, the nice looking covers. #2, this one is kind of classic Art Germ. #3. Which kind of reminds me of this book here, which I picked up for $3.25. When I got to where I was going for work, they had an LCS that I went there for. I looked at, and they had this book here for $3.25, which is kind of funny. Is like Art Germ has a lot of kissing covers, right? Kissing scene, which is kind of almost like that. But this used to have some heat on it. And, I'm sure a lot of you have the same thing happen to you where you're looking for a book in the wild, you can't find it. Finally, you find it, and it's a little bit more than you want to pay, but I did pay it $8 for this book in near mint, and this is in near mint. And then after I paid $8, kind of a premium at the time, because this can go for $10, $15. I started finding them in the dollar bins everywhere. So I got this for $3.25, a little bit over cover. Thought it was worth it. And also in that same run was #10 in near mint, which I bought. I have all his run in Birds of Prey, and I had this already, but it was cover price. He had another one. I can't remember which one it was, but it wasn't in near mint, so I didn't pick it up. And then I found this Batman Annual #28 by Art Germ for $3.25. So all 3 of those are $3.25 a piece, which I thought was a decent price. So I picked them up, and then to finish the run on the Dance, #4, and then #5. They did not have #6, so I'll have to look for #6. But for a quarter a piece, I thought it was worth it. Iron Man, second print variant. This is in near mint minus. Don't know anything about this comic, but because it was second print, and second print seemed to be going for some money these days, I picked it up for a quarter. 2 more copies of Blade cover Night Stalkers #15 that had some heat on it. Definitely worth more than a quarter. Those are in high near mint grade. I'd looked at this comic for a while. I considered buying it when it came out, and it's a 1 in 50 ratio by Alex Ross. But Alex Ross covers as for some reason just do not garner the increased market value like Art Germ or J. Scott Campbell or Adam Hughes. I mean, just a number of artists that Delato, right? And I think it's a shame because I love some of his covers. His Immortal Hulk run is incredible, and this is one of my favorite covers that he's done. This is a 1 in 50 ratio variant. When it first came out, it was going for like 50, maybe even $60. Yeah, $60 because Midtown tried to sell it for $60, and I waited and waited, and this is, I think I've mentioned this before. This is a homage to one of the Jack Kirby splash pages from an FF issue, which I can't recall which number. I'm gonna have to look for it, but this is an awesome cover, and so I paid $15 for this comic. And with shipping included. So $15 I thought was a great deal. I would rather have the 1 in 200 ratio where the logo here, the Marvel, and this barcode is gone and just says Fantastic Four. I don't like the 1 in 500 version where there's no Fantastic Four. I think the Fantastic Four adds to the comic. So, but that's still going for $100, which is still cheap considering it's a 1 in 200 ratio. But for a 1 in 50 for $15, I thought that was definitely worth it. And if I can find the 1 in 100 for a little bit cheaper than 100, I'll probably buy that. Or 1 in 200 for a little bit cheaper than 100, and I'll buy that. Then I bought this comic here for $40 at the local toy store that sells comics, and I paid $40 for this book. This is the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, John Byrne, Chris Claremont classic run. Now they just did a facsimile version of this, and I think the facsimile versions are causing some of the original versions to maybe go down in price a little. Now, the story behind this is, I mean, this book is in near mint. This is that square bound printing, and so it's easy to find the damage, and the corners are crisp, right? Pages are white. There's no detachments. There's actually no tears from the binding either, which is hard to find in this book, in these books in that early 1980 era where they printed like this. And about 7 or 8 years ago, during Christmas time, there was an LCS on eBay, which is another reason why I don't buy a lot of eBay comics, that had a sale for this book. And I can't recall what the original list pricing was, but it was a 25% sale. It was advertised as a Christmas sale. And at 25% off, this book was like, I want to say like $50. And at that time, this book was still going for, in near mint, probably $100. Anywhere between $75 to $100. So for $50, and I looked at the scans, he had probably 4 pictures: the front, the back, and then the corners, right? And there didn't look to me to have any damage, and he was listing it as a high grade near mint minus comic. And so with that, again, I hadn't bought a lot of books from eBay. I was like, okay, I'll take a chance. And so I bought this book from online eBay. And when it came to me, there was like a little water stain here that I couldn't tell, water damage here, like a drop had fallen on the book. And on the back of the book, there was a tear in the interior from the binding. But the page, the back last page, the cover you could not tell, but when you opened it up, interiorly there was holes in the last couple of pages because of tear, because of the binding. And so, I emailed the guy and said, this is ridiculous. This book is not high grade. There's water damage on it. There's a tear in the back, and he went off saying that, what do you expect for $50? that's a highly collected comic. It's minimal damage. A lot of people would still consider that a high grade near mint comic, and I was flabbergasted because I was like, "There's no way this is a high grade near mint comic." Maybe, with six, maybe with torn pages. And what really teed me off more was that and I said, you know, what I expected was actually an $80 book that you were having a promotional sale with 25% off if you bought. Because I bought a few other books to get the promotion, to get the 25% off. I think you had to spend like $100 before the discount in order to get the 25% off. So I spent over $100 at the store online to get this book for 50. And I said, just because I paid 50 is not really what you were saying the value of this book was. You were saying this book was originally valued at 80, and the condition of the book should be commensurate to what the value was before the discount, not what the value is after the discount. It's kind of deceptive, is what I told him. And I said, most people would not consider a book that's torn, whether it's due to a manufacturing defect or not, as a non-issue because it's a manufacturing defect. It's still damaged and there's a water drop. He says it's clearly on the scan. And when I went back and looked at the scan, yes, you can see the drop down on the scan, but on the back of the book, you could still not see the tear until you open the comic. And so that really, perturbed me. And, at the time, my wife was, I was typing up this response to him and complaining. And my wife said, look, he's probably just, a small store struggling. It's not worth it. Just when you buy used online, it is what it is. And after that, I would always email buyers because my pet peeve is water damage. Does a comic have water damage? And if they say yes, then usually I won't buy the book. And I just think that in that situation, he was deceptive. So when I have it still, and I'd promised myself that if I found another book in near mint that's not graded, that I would buy it if it's a reasonable price, and that's what this was. So that's how I bought this book, because I wasn't going to buy another book ungraded online unless and actually all of these books from that era that were spined or bound this way, I would not buy without looking at the book personally, or unless they're graded by CGC or PGX or CBGC or whatever that other company is. So got this for $2. This is Astonishing Ant-Man number 6, first appearance of Cassie Lang as Stinger. Has some heat on it. That can go for $20 to $50 right now, actually. Found this Marvel Team Up number 55. It's probably a VF copy. It's the first appearance of the Gardener and the first appearance of the Time and Power Stones from the Infinity Gauntlet. $5 I thought was a reasonable price. I have a copy of this from my collection as a child, and it's not. I mean, I read it multiple times. John Byrne interior artwork, and it's probably in beat up condition, probably good because it's intact. But for $5, I thought that was decent. Ultimate Spider-Man number 19, the first part of Venom War. Got 2 copies of that at $2 a piece. That's going for some money right now. Got a little bit of heat on it. You can right now. I think you can still maybe stealth buy it online, and definitely stealth buy it in stores. It's a great Venom cover. I think it is the first time Miles Morales meets Venom. So I'd be on the lookout for that book. Found this for cover price. I couldn't believe it. It's in near mint too. This is obviously the first cameo appearance of Punchline, Batman number 89 for $4. How about that? And then got this Green Lantern 42, the um, Teen Titans Go uh, cover, which I love that cartoon. Where Changeling is always calling Raven Mama. Yo, Mama. That comment, that cartoon cracks me up. Tomb Raider number 18, Adam Hughes cover, $2. Serenity number 2, Adam Hughes cover, $2. I think I have number 3 around here somewhere. I'm still looking for number 1. I bought 2 and 3. Number 1 was beat up, so I didn't buy it. And they're not worth anything but $1 to $2, so I bought that. It was near mint. I did buy this online. This is Batgirl and number 14. I paid $20 for that, plus shipping of $4. And it was listed as VF plus 8.5. And I thought it was undergraded when I looked at it online. And when it came here, it was damaged by the post guy. I don't know if you can tell. There's a cover ding right there above the corner of the marquee. And it wasn't in there before. And the guy did package it pretty well, which I was surprised that it came. That actually, when I looked at the cardboard and the backing board that it came with, how bent the board was. I mean, it wasn't in a Gemini mailer, unfortunately, but it was in cardboard, and I mean, it was jacked up. So for it to come in this condition, I was amazed. And if it would have been in worse condition, I would have had issue. But because he said it was 8.5 to begin with, very fine. It's still in very fine. I think that's a spot on assessment, although that clearly got damaged en route, and if it wouldn't have been, it would have been a near mint plus comic. But for $20, it's it was really more to try to complete that run of Art Germ. Now this comic here, this also ticked me off. This one did not make me as mad with the sender. I do think that if you're mailing comics this day and age, you either need to mail them in a box, sellers, or in a Gemini mailer. I don't think wrapping a book in cardboard is enough. And I did email the guy that and say, look, I'm not giving you any bad review. I'm giving you positive rating. But I would tell you that, more cardboard or Gemini mailer. Now this guy here, man, this really ticked me off. So I've been looking for this book, Power Girl number 2, John Hughes cover. And this was an auction. It's listed as very fine near mint, which it probably was. Key being was. Now, I won that auction, and for shipping, he charged like $8.46, $9, and shipping and handling, I should say. And then he mailed it quickly. And I was out of town on an assignment for work, and my wife told me, I told her I should be getting a comic and, make sure you look for it and, put it inside. Because sometimes the postman or however it comes will leave it on the front stoop or the side stoop, and I don't want it to be sitting out in the rain. So she's always looking for me. And so finally it came, and she called me when I talked to her that evening and said, your comic came. I said, oh, great. I said, where did they leave it at? And she said, oh, it was in the mailbox. I was like, what? It was in the mailbox? And she said, yeah. I said, they got the box in there? And she said, it didn't come in no box. It came in an envelope. They folded it up, put it in an envelope. I said, nuh-uh. I couldn't believe it because it was a $53 purchase. And she said, no, it just came in a little envelope. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was furious. I couldn't believe her. I said, well, that can't be the book. I was furious. And, I did get the email confirmation that it had been delivered. And so when I got home, I was so mad when I saw the package or the envelope. I waited until I had some time where I could film this uninterrupted while I was opening it. And the postman stuffed it in the mailbox. And this book came in a bubble envelope with just a poly bag and one regular backing board. That's it. And then the dude had a fragile label on the envelope, and that was it. That's how he sent a $50 book through the mail. You know, I used to send emails to everyone that I purchased comics from online for a variety of reasons. You know, checking before I bought the book if there was any water damage, and then once I won the sale, I would, you know, make a comment, hey, please mail it in a box or cardboard or Gemini. I'll pay extra if I have to. Please don't send it damaged, you know, package it well. But, but that was, I probably haven't bought a book online from a seller, not from a comic store. Because if you buy something from a comic store, they're sending all their books in boxes. I mean, if you buy it from a online retailer, no one that's an online retailer is mailing comics in an envelope. They're all mailing them in Geminis or they're mailing them in boxes. And I just figured it's 2020. Sellers are mailing things in Geminis or they're mailing them in boxes. Like, there was no way I was thinking a seller, particularly this seller who had 260 plus sales, was mailing stuff in a bubble envelope. And so when I got it, I told the guy, and I actually, I hadn't really paid attention that he was charging almost $9 for shipping and handling, because even the Gemini mailer is not $9. So I guess he's charging you for gas. But when I got the book and I looked at it, opened it, and you can't tell while it's in the Mylar, but there's like a fold right in the middle where it's kind of bent where they put it in the mailbox. I was furious, and I said, dude, I can't believe you're mailing a book this day and age in a bubble envelope. The kind where you have the little bubbles that you can pop. That's all it was in. And and I will give him credit. He apologized. He had all 100%, positive reviews, and he said, before you leave a negative feedback, could you please work with me? I was like, absolutely. So I gave him two options. I said, one, you can take this book back in a full refund, and I will mail it back to you in a Gemini at the same cost for postage that you charge me, and you pay me full refund plus the postage. Or you can refund me 50% of the cost of the book, because maybe if I would have seen this book in an LCS and it had the damage that it had, I would have bought it for maybe $20. Maybe. Only because the corners are sharp, right? The corners are sharp. There's only a couple of, you can't tell, but there's only a couple of spine ticks. And because it's a white comic, I think these could be pressed out and this could be pressed out. So, for $25 all in, actually more than $25, it was 30 with shipping. It was $32 that I paid for this book. And then you add another $25 to press it, I would probably be at about, $55 for this comic if it can press out into near mint. And, plus time and postage to send it back and forth. And so, I just, for the lack of hassle of shipping it, insuring it, sending it back, I told him I'd take 50%, and he obliged, which was nice, I guess. And so I ended up paying $32 for that comic, which, in my opinion, was not a good deal because it came damaged. So sellers out there, if you're watching this video, and I know you're not because I don't get a lot of views, but if you are viewing, I still think it's worth the time to tell sellers, if you're buying books on eBay, to please mail them in a box, a Gemini, what have you, and package it well, because there are still sellers out there that do not, which is just mind-boggling. So with that, I will end this video, and peace out, everybody. Have a good morning. I'm probably going to do another video here in a little bit. Peace.